Alright lads, so CFYOW round 2 and 3 are actually returning tomorrow morning, but is it worth summoning? Now right at the get-go, I will say it's probably an easy skip. It really depends if you want these characters. Now let's say, hypothetically, if you do summon on this banner, which again I don't really recommend even though my guy Aaroniero is there, they are very useful bonuses for this month, right? Aaroniero, zionpo, and also Yammy are very good bonuses for the epic raids if you are struggling to do that. But is it worth summoning just for that alone? That comes down to you. So the 6 characters we are going to be talking about today are the 6 ESPADAs from round 2 and 3. Most of them are usable. I think for the most part, the only character you realistically are going to be using outside of epic raids when they are bonuses is going to be Stark. Stark is the one that has held up from time and time again. zionpo, if you have him max transcend, you might use him. Same goes for Aaroniero. Noitora, to be fair, actually is usable in a lot of content like guild quests and also PvP. And then Yammy, he's an ad character with no guard breaks, so he's usable in GQ2, he's usable in epic raids, and that's really about it. Zamari, on the other hand, probably just a bit of a meh character. Now, the other 3 characters, the Shusuke Amagai, Makoto, and Aizen, very free common filler characters. I'm not even going to bother talking about them. You're not summoning on this banner because of those 3 characters. And if you are, don't save for a better banner. Now, before you do get into it, do understand the rate for this banner, right? It's a cycle summon, so it's going to start off at 3% for 50 orb. So everyone watching this video, you do the 50 orb multi tomorrow. Very cheap. Yes, it's 3%, but if you walk away with a new character, you're making profit, and that's what you want for the anniversary. And if you don't get a character, then it's not a big of a deal. It's only 2 singles worth. Doing the second step, though, that comes down to if you're feeling lucky, if you're only just deciding to limiting yourself to 1 multi. Now, if you do decide to go all in, most of your 5 stars are going to be coming from step 3, 4, and 5, and then 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, because that's where the rates are higher, right? 3%, a lot of times I end up getting 4-star multis. The 5th step of every multi is guaranteed a 5-star, and it does come with an 8% rate, so the rate on the guaranteed step is absolutely brilliant. It would have been very nice if the 8% carried on for every single multi. That would have made this banner so much better, but unfortunately that is the system they have in place. So that's the rates. Know what the rates are before you do something, before you expect something good. For the most part, if you're only doing 1 or 2 multis, you're very likely to get shafted. The 5-star are going to come from the guaranteed steps because it does have an 8% rate because it is a guaranteed 5-star. Now, one good thing, I guess, is that you don't have to worry about the extra 1.5% pull rate for other characters. These are the characters in the banner, and these are the only ones you're going to be summoning. So with that said, if you don't want to hear my opinion on the characters and where they might be usable if you do pull for them, then that's the end of the video. Again, it's a decently good banner. It just really comes down to if you want to pull for it, but I would actually recommend skipping it. Alright, so let's talk about the characters. So Noitora, if you pull him, this is what I personally use him, and I only realistically use him because he's 5'5", is you can use him in PvP. If you are a somewhat newer player and you're still trying to develop some of your PvP characters, you can use him there. He's not the worst character there, but he is pretty decent. Obviously, compared to though Drugim and Tsukushima, he doesn't really hold a candle to them. Outside of PvP though, epic raids, whenever he's a bonus, he's great there. And normally where majority of the time you are going to be using him is in GQ, the Captain Week of GQ. Now, the only really bad thing about his character, obviously, he came out at a time where characters weren't getting high bruisers plus flurry. He only has flurry. He doesn't have any kind of bruiser, which doesn't hurt him, but, you know, it'd be nice if he did have it. One thing is his SA2. It's a 10-second boost. It does transform him, increasing his damage, which is nice, but the boost only lasts 10 seconds. So in PvP, he isn't even the ideal booster because the second that 10 seconds is up, when Drugim and Tsukushima, for example, start taking damage, you're now losing your boost. So he's a decent option in PvP. He's definitely one of the better characters in PvP. He's not the best, but he's definitely one of the better ones. And he's pretty usable in GQ, so that's why I would actually recommend using him. He looks like a fun character too. Like, I mean, his visuals and stuff is actually great. So if you don't mind playing with a character like this that isn't really designed for PvE, and you can still have fun with him PvP, then sure, go ahead. Feel free to use him. Then we have Yammy, who I actually believe was the first flurry character with a PvE killer. This was actually kind of huge. I've recently pulled him and I've never used him once. I think with like how many good characters out there now, especially characters like Masaki and Tokinada, this character rarely ever sees the light of day to be used in PvE. So I don't really recommend pulling it just for him if you need him. He's more so just a side piece if you are pulling on this banner. He's a bonus right now in epic raids. He's actually very good in the epic raids, so he's not a bad character just to pull for that alone. And then in addition to that, again, since he is a flurry character, the majority of the time, if I was to use him, it would be in GQ. He isn't the best character for GQ, but again, if you need flurry support, which is very important in the hard difficulty of GQ, then this is a character that you might want to pick up just for that alone. Then we have Zamari, long stride sprinter +2, no longer special with the bonus abilities. This character has... It's funny how this character was actually made. So he came out he was looking very good on the skills, and then we saw his strong attacks, and it was instantly disappointing. And then in the old difficulty of GQ, he got a time to shine again because of how good Long Stride plus Sprinter plus 2 plus the Vortex he has. He was literally the best combo character in a GQ. And then they changed GQ and now he's no longer usable. So, and then now even with the bonus abilities, even worse now because every character can get Long Stride. Every character can get Sprinter plus 2. So, sure he can get an extra flash step, but this character isn't really all that worth talking about. The only time I'd actually see someone use him is if he's 5-5 in Guild Quest. Outside of that, there are way better characters. And characters that, like, he looks cool, don't get me, I mean, does he look cool? I don't even know, but, like, he's an character, that's the best way to describe him. He's not that good, and he's mainly just going to be there to annoy you while summoning. But if you are a Zamari fan, then sure, go ahead for him. He's still usable at the very least, so he has that going for him. But then we have Zionpo, who is still a pretty good character. The Havoc definitely does save him. This is actually the time my character started to get Havoc. Unfortunately, Aaroniero is the only one that doesn't get it. So this character is on the slower end thanks to his SA2, which is a crawling vortex. But with the Havoc, it is actually a pretty good vortex. He revives on his soul bomb, and he's just an okay character. He isn't anything too amazing, but he is still very much usable compared to the other characters that we did talk about, especially in PvE content. If someone joined my IT room with this character, I'm not going to complain about it. He's going to be reviving me too if I do die, so I really don't mind his character. He's just a bit on the slower side, but he's usable. He's actually very good. You can use him in GQ. You can use him in Epic Raid whenever he's a bonus. You can bring him into IT. You can carry an IZ if you want to too. So he's an alright character. Then we have Yodo, obviously my favourite of the banner. Thank God I got him at 5. I no longer have to summon on this banner. Now this character, unfortunately, was the only one that didn't get Havoc. If he had Havoc, he would have been still insane to this day. So one of the best things about him is the fact that he is immune to weakening and paralysis, which is very helpful in co-op, and he also does heal. So right now in the Awakened version of Epic Raids, he is one of the better characters used for that week because one, the weakening, the SA2, which is a sucking vortex. It isn't that good outside of Epic Raid, I'm not going to lie. The invincibility frames aren't that good on him. I found myself dying a lot of times when using that SA2, unfortunately, but the heal is very clutch in Epic Raids. A lot of the times you're going with full stam, and obviously when you get hit, you can just use your soul bomb and then get full HP. So I actually like the way this character does play in Epic Raids. Obviously I'm biased towards him because my whole channel is literally named after his character, but he's alright. He's usable in PvE. Again, there are way better characters out there. In fact, I would say Kokoto is now actually a better character. So if you do need a good speed cyber killer, Aaroniero is a good character for that, but Kokoto's also then. You can pick him up for $23 or pounds in less than 2 weeks' time if you are really desperate for a speed character. And I would assume that 5th anniversary Byakuya would return sometime before the anniversary. So, you know, if you just need him just because he's a speed server killer, I'd say probably wait. There are better characters out there, but he is a good character to have nonetheless. Same goes for all the other ESPADAs. I didn't mention it for the others, but ESPADAs are very limited in terms of what character we can get. So just having a bunch of different ESPADAs is always going to be useful for stuff like Senkamon, where they give us these dodgy floors where you can only bring ESPADAs and stuff like that. So just having them is always going to be a good thing, especially for future content like in Senkamon. And then the last character to talk about is going to be the Stark. Now this is the character that still holds up. He's actually a very good character. I would definitely say the best in banner. He is the prize if you are summoning on this. Unfortunately, I don't have him 5-5. This is the character that if I did have 5-5, I would be using in a lot of content because he still holds up to this day. So he does have Havoc, which is honestly what makes his character good, because if you look at his attacks, his SA1 is similar to these two characters right here. It is a beam forward, but it is a bit linear. So it's a 690 width and a 1500 length. So it's not the best SA1, but it is still good regardless. Its SA2 is a 960 in front of him, and then his SA3 is a 1200 full screen. So he's actually a very good character in terms of the strong attacks. Give him a couple Transcenders, maybe get him Long Stride, maybe get him to 2020, then he's actually a very good technique character. And I would personally say that he is still the top 10 technique character in the game. Very, very good, and definitely, like I said, the prize of the banner. That's what you're probably going for if you are summoning on this. Sure, there are better characters out there, but they don't have the swag this character does have. He's actually a really cool character. So yeah, overall, this Stark is just a very good character. Useful in Epic Raids, whenever he's a bonus at least. Useful in GQ, useful in Senkamon, useful in IT and IZ. Overall, you can't go wrong with this character. So that right there, lads, was the breakdown of this banner. It's a pretty decent banner, like I said. It really comes down to you if you do want to summon on it. I would definitely say that if you only want these characters because of the attributes and killers that they do have, then sure, that might be a reason to go for them. If you just want them because they look cool, because let's be honest, they look really, really cool. I've been kind of used to them now because they've been out for years, but the designs are still top tier to this day. And if you're summoning for that just alone, then go for it, right? It's your game. You know how to play. If you want to have fun with these characters, then go for it. If you want to like using Zamari, even though he's actually a very bad character, then sure, go ahead. Who am I to say not to summon? But that being said, let's hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you are summoning on this banner outside of the first multi, which you should be doing, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to be outright skipping it outside of, again, the first multi, because I have majority of these characters 5-5. I have Noitoro 5-5, I have Aaroniero 5-5, I have zionpo 4-5, Zamari 4-5, Yammy like 1-2-5, I don't know, and then Stark's also 3-5. So yeah, I'm good for this banner. I do not need to summon on it. But I hope you guys do get lucky if you do decide to summon. That being said, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.